You're now South Belly. I'm John Fredericks, and I am your blowtorch of free speech in America. Thanks for being with us, as always. Let me get this thing behind me. Thank you. We got John Findlay coming up. I want to thank Phil Klein. I wrote down what he said. He's right. He said the reason we have no infrastructure is because the Republican consulting class can't make money on it. I think you nailed it there, Mr. Klein. You nailed it. Good to have you with us. John Findlay coming up next. Good friend of mine. FOJ, friend of John. John is a friend of John, kind of the way it goes. 888-480-JOHN. This is for you. Open phone lines. And a lot of infighting going on the right. Very unhealthy. We need to keep focused on one thing, winning these midterms. Not fighting on chats. Gets you nowhere. What did you do today to help the cause is what you should be asking yourself. Not fighting with somebody on a chat. It's really like ridiculous. But you guys do what you want. Rosie in New Hampshire, line 2. Rosie, you're live.
Hi, good morning. First time caller. With what happened in Virginia and Letitia James's case there, is there a chance that this James guy gonna dismiss it?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Oh. So this is all for nothing then?
Yes. Yes, Rosie, you nailed it. All your queries, the answer is a simple yes. The elections have consequences, and Jay Jones is going to dismiss that, and he'll get there 2 days, and he'll sue Trump every day because that's what he said he was going to do. He'll find an issue. He'll sue him every day. There'll be a lawsuit a day.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Oh, and by the way, Spanberger is going to make Virginia a sanctuary state, she said, on day 1. So,
of course she would.
Yeah, well, that's what she said.
Why wouldn't she? She needs those people there.
All right, you're in New Hampshire. Let me ask you, can I ask you a geographical question?
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe, my son, the baseball pitcher, pitches for Maryland, and he just signed a summer contract with the Kane, New Hampshire Swamp Rats. That's in the summer after his collegiate season, which would be starting in, I guess, June. Where on earth is Kane, New Hampshire? And how do you get there from here?
You know what? I've never even heard of Kane, New Hampshire. I live in a very small town here myself that nobody's
sounds
ever
like
heard
you
of
can't
either.
get. Sounds like you can't get there from here. It's probably by Vermont or something. But yeah. The Kane Swamp Rats. I have to look it up on a map. I'm always the last to know.
If it has anything swamp right in it, you know it's not a good place.
Swamp Rats is the name of the team. The parents are the last to know. Like,
is that the name of the team?
Yeah, it's called the Kane Swamp Rats. And I find out because the guy, the coach or manager or something of the team, needs all these documents from us. And I'm like, who are you? Your son in the University of Maryland shipped him. They're shipping him here. He already signed his deal. I need all these documents. So I call my son up. I'm like, what is this? He said, oh yeah, that's where Maryland wants me in the summer. So I signed the deal. So why'd you just call me and tell me, dude? The last to know. I'm the last between him and the cat, man. I tell you what, that's why I don't have any hair, even though I take collagen. Thanks, Rosie. Join me now, John Findlay. John and I go back too many years to count. John Findlay, former executive director of the Republican Party of Virginia, former executive director of the Republican Party of West Virginia, former senior advisor to President Trump in Trump 2020, is joining us now. So, Johnny, great to have you with us.
No, great to be here, John.
Do we have John's camera or just audio?
Line 1. He's just by phone.
By phone. All right, John, you got to get your camera fixed. Now, John, let me just ask you this straight out. This power grab, obscene power grab by the communists in Virginia to take 4 seats away and turn the state into 10-1 Dems congressional. This is going to be a referendum in April. I don't think you're going to beat it in the courts. You're going to have to defeat it in April. What's our plan?
I mean, they are going to have to try and defeat it in the courts first. I think the courts is actually the better option than defeating it at the referendum level. At the referendum, I mean, they're going to have to raise a lot of money and compete with the Democrats on the ground. I think that we stand a better chance there than what happened in California. We kind of abandoned the battlefield in California because of how blue that state is. But if it gets to the referendum, I mean, that's a much harder battle than the legal standpoint. I think that there's actually a good chance for us to kill it at the legally, given the opinion that Jason Miera has put out there regarding the fact that it has to be done. The Democrats tried, to do it in a constitutional amendment. They have to do it before an election, and the Democrat special session was after 20 days of early voting had already happened. So I wouldn't abandon the legal aspect,
Right.
and your national groups are going to have to invest in Virginia, and the locals. No one is going to be able to come in and save them without the locals doing the hard work, doing the organizing, going into communities and saying to folks in Rockingham, folks in Powhatan, do you want to be represented by folks in Northern Virginia? And so there's going to be a aspect of, beyond just Democrat versus Republican. It has to be a, hey, this is not right. This is how ugly the districts will look. This is who your representatives will be, so to hopefully juice turnout in the rural areas. I mean, it's any off-year election is, John, it's a turnout game. And so we have to, that's why we lost by such a large margin, is our folks were not activated, especially in the rural areas compared to previous elections. So we have to get out that MAGA base to win a election in Virginia if it goes to the referendum stage. Hopefully we're able to get it before then, but that's what you have to do.
Well, John, so the problem is right now, and you were executive director of the RVP under John Whitback when I thought it was, a party. Okay, to be honest with you, I'm a big Whitback fan, as you know. I thought he did a really good job. And so you had a party, but right now, my concern is what you just laid out is right. There needs to be a ground game. Well, we have no infrastructure or apparatus or functioning party to be able to do that. So how do you do it?
I mean, they're going to, you have the advance coming up. The party's going to have to get its act together in very, very quick fashion. I mean, they will need to persuade people to invest. Mark Peake is going to have a task in front of him. It's a difficult task, but previous party chairmen have had difficult tasks and have succeeded. But yeah, he's going to need to drive it, and he's going to need to seek, and build a coalition of allies within the state. There should be, one interesting thing will be, as has happened in a bunch of these fights, there should be several good government groups, League of Women Voters, those kind of groups that don't want, lines that are just, ridiculous modernist art projects, which is what the Democrats will have to draw to.
Everything you're saying is right. Everything you're saying is right. My concern is the way the Republican Party of Virginia is set up right now. There's no party, there's no staff, there's no team. And you go to the executive committee and you say, okay, we got all these, county chairs or whatever they are, local chairs. And all there is infighting. All they do is fight with each other to protect their little fiefdom. And I'm not calling anybody out in specific. I'm just making a general statement. I mean, you go to one of these executive committee meetings, it's a total shit show. I mean, all they're doing is fighting with each other on everything. And nothing ever gets accomplished or done. So it's a waste of time. So there's no infrastructure. Maybe you and I just have to build one, John, ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I evacuated to West Virginia. I left for redder pastures, so to speak. So, I think the term is not my circus, not my monkeys. But I understand. I I love Virginia. I hope that people
Oh,
can,
my-
you know.
Well, I don't live there either,
Or-
but I don't live there either, but I'm concerned about losing these seats. I mean, I live in the safest city in America here in DC. And but yeah, not my circus, not my monkeys. All right, John, hang on. Let's take a call from John in Southwest Virginia. So we got John and John and John. We got the Johns. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, good morning, all of the Johns there. But I have a real concern, and I know I'm not unique in this. When it comes to financing, contributing to campaigns or to causes that the RNC or the RPV want to bring forward, I have a problem in that the RNC keeps using this WinRed. You put in WinRed, they get a cut of it. There's somebody that has that. I was told over in Scotland or somewhere. There's a couple of brothers that kind of are behind all that, and they get the money, and then you get a portion of that goes to the candidate. But what I don't like is the fact that the RNC gets the money, and then they sit on their hands and they don't help you with that candidate, especially when that candidate happens to be America First or MAGA. So my concern is I wish there was another alternative to doing that the candidates and the national structure would utilize so that candidates and could get the money.
John Findlay, you want to address John's concern about WinRed?
Yeah, I mean, so candidates decide whether or not they want to use WinRed or not. WinRed is just a payment processor. So most candidates end up using WinRed, and and they have a very compared to they take a very, very, very small cut, like tenths of a percentage point, which is any payment processor is going to do. In my experience, the RNC is much different than the RNC from 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I mean, they are 100% on board with Trump. They are spending to make sure that we win in races. The RNC does invest in winnable races, though, and the sad matter of fact was, Winston's race was not winnable, and so, but generally the RNC is investing in winnable races and is 100% behind the president's agenda. So I'm not as concerned with that. If you have a candidate you are uncomfortable with WinRed, I would reach out directly to the candidate. You can always write a direct check to the candidate. That has nothing's going to get taken out of that. And there are Anodot and other processors out there, but ultimately that's up to the candidate to decide whether or not they want to use WinRed. Several candidates I know don't use WinRed, but the safest thing to do if you want to cut out the middleman, just write a check directly to the candidate. I know it's old-fashioned, but that's the simplest solution.
All right, yeah. John Findlay. John, Southwest Virginia, we got to do something. I got up today, and Ann told me last night to stop whining and get up off my ass and get something done. She said one week of whining is enough. At least I got a week to whine. It's pretty good, right, Johnny? John,
yeah.
When are you going to be in D.C.?
Next week.
I'll see you then. Look us up. We'll have dinner and plot our next move. When John and John get together, always something's going to come. There's always something cooking. We're going to get John, and then we'll bring in Scott Weldon to pick up the check. Brilliant.
Always. That's definitely a plan.
We'll concoct a plan. We'll invite Ann. Then I'll invite Weldon, and we'll stick him with the bill. What a brilliant idea, man. That is brilliant. He's got all the money. He's one of the consultants we've been talking about. Actually, he's the best one out there. He's a good guy. Anyway, he's going to pick up the tab. We'll be right back. Stay with us.